Hey everyone, ExxotikGaming here, and thank you for clicking on my video. I'm excited to bring you all another Call of Duty mobile video, and this video is going to be a great starting point for anyone who's just getting into this game, because I'm going to show you all the top 10 best tips and tricks that you can use right from the very beginning, that the game doesn't tell you. These range from settings to improving your aim, to how to level up quicker, and so much more. I hope you all will benefit from this. Make sure to leave a like down below if you do enjoy this video. And here's another thing. 80% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed to me. I would greatly appreciate it if you do enjoy my content to hit that subscribe button. It's free. There's no commitment to it. You can unsubscribe the second you see something you don't like. But I can almost guarantee you'll enjoy my content. So yeah, with that being said, let's jump into this video. Okay, so to start things off, the very first tip I'd like to explain to you guys is you need to know how to use every weapon. Don't be caught in the trap where you only use one weapon the entire time, every single match that you go into, and you get great with that weapon, but you suck with everything else. In order to be good at this game, when you're using a brand new weapon for the very first time, I would recommend practicing against AI first, learning how the weapon works, then going to a regular match, and then finally to ranked matches. This allows you to master the gun the quickest. Game modes like Gun Game are perfect when they're available because they force you to have to use every single weapon before you get the win. But continuing on, another tip I'd like to explain to you guys is the best way to level up the quickest in this game. If you want to get XP the absolute quickest, I would recommend going into Domination mode. You can get so many kills in such a short amount of time because your enemies are generally more focused on capturing points over killing you. And if you're lucky enough to have a really competent team who can capture points without your help, you can run around the entire time killing enemy after enemy after enemy and getting far more kills than you would in a free-for-all or a TDM match. And because of this, you'll get way more XP. In this mode, I would recommend equipping an LMG just because you have the most amount of shots before you can reload. And if you're purely going off the mentality of kills, you won't be worrying about your strategy too much, and you'll want the gun that does the most firepower. Plain and simple. So I wanted to give you all a few different Battle Royale tips and tricks in this video. This is a combination of several tips, but I'll roll them all into one. So, first off, if you haven't played much Battle Royale in Call of Duty Mobile, you can switch between first person and third person just by pressing the button on the very bottom left of your screen. This is great so you can see enemies from still behind a wall, for example. Second, you don't have any fall damage in Battle Royale in Call of Duty Mobile. Just jump off a cliff, make sure that wingsuit is deployed, and you can gracefully fall all the way down to the very bottom. You can also heal while running. This is important and something that you don't see in other Battle Royale games. It will be crucial in you surviving in some of the matches that you go into. And lastly, something I talked about in my last video, you can shoot underwater in Battle Royale. Simple stuff, but really important tips. Fourth big tip of the video, let's talk about your overall control layout for a second, okay? I can't speak for people who play with the claw method because I don't like using the claw method myself. Best thing is, it doesn't matter what your control layout is. You can use one finger or 10 fingers. The only thing that matters is if you can get the wins or not. So, I can show you guys what I can consider one of the best control layouts for someone who enjoys playing with their thumbs like I do. Here are what my buttons look like. They're very, very comfortable to work with. You'll notice that I like to lower my transparency greatly as well. This allows me to see more of the screen without buttons getting in the way of my view, and, super key, place your knife button over your firing button. It'll make it 1,000 times easier to knife people because if someone surprises you around a corner, you won't have to move your finger to a different spot on your screen and then have that split-second delay. You can just keep pressing the firing button that you always had your finger on, and you will more likely get the kill before they will. However, we're not finished just yet. Next up, another awesome tip the game doesn't tell you is something that I talked about in my last video, how to aim more accurately, especially at longer ranges. This is what you should do. Go to your control settings, find a button that you don't normally use. In my case, it's the auto run button. Move it to the center of your screen using the arrows at the top, and then make it as small of a button as possible. Since it's in the center of your screen, you can now run around and you know you have an aiming advantage over others. If you see someone, especially at range, if that dot at the center of your crosshair is on the enemy player, you know the second you press the aiming button, you will be aiming directly on that enemy. You can instantly start firing and even pre-fire before you fully aim your gun and then kill them before they kill you. If you don't use this tip, you'll aim and then you'll have to find the enemy a second time. Don't be stuck in that situation. So hey, another thing you need to do in this game is just fool around in all of the different maps. I don't know how you're going to want to do it. Maybe it's playing in a server versus a bunch of easy bots, or creating a second account so you can make private servers with no other players. But you really want to know the ins and outs of all of the different maps. This means in maps like Firing Range, how to jump from roof to roof and surprise enemy players because of it, to other maps where you can use the shield that you unlock at around level 50 to get to areas that your player would not normally be able to get to. I'm just saying, you can see here, I fooled around in a couple of different maps and I got to places like this. It's not that hard. You can learn some pretty cool things in Call of Duty Mobile just by simply messing around in all of the different maps. Alright, hey, so this is definitely something that is not talked about within the mobile version of Call of Duty Mobile itself, but it is a huge part of this game, and it needs to be talked about. Emulators. Yes, believe it or not, there is actually an official Call of Duty Mobile emulator that you can get. It's called Game Loop, and it's a really cool alternative to play this game. This emulator is created by Tencent, one of the companies that has partnered up with Activision in releasing this game to China, and because of this, this is the only official PC emulator of this game that is safe and will not get you banned. There's absolutely nothing wrong with playing on it, and even though I have played on it myself, and I personally don't enjoy it as much as I do with the mobile version of this game, it's certainly a worthy alternative that I thought you all should know about. So the 8th thing that I've got to tell you that the game doesn't tell you is more of a way to determine your best settings and sensitivity settings, because honestly, it's going to be different for everyone. First off, I know there's 2 different options for your controls, simple and advanced mode. Please choose advanced mode. You don't want to get used to not having to press that firing button, especially in Battle Royale where your main objective is to be sneaky and only fire when you're sure you're going to kill that enemy player. Also, click hip fire for everything. A lot of times, using hip fire is better than aiming down the scope, especially at very, very close ranges. For your sensitivity, you need to choose a setting where you can play your game like this. As you can see, I put my thumb as far to the center of the screen as is comfortable, and when I press and drag to the right, I want to be able to do at least a 180-degree turn. If you're only doing 90, you'll have to swipe twice just to turn your player around, and that's really bad. Someone will kill you before you have the chance to even see them, so please, don't be stuck like that. We're getting close to the end of the video here, but there's still a couple more tips and tricks that I want to show you guys. First up, something also revolving sensitivity, switch the rotation mode of your character from speed acceleration to fixed speed. If you're unsure as to what this basically does, beforehand when it was speed acceleration, your character turned as fast as you swiped the screen. If you swipe slowly, your character turns slowly, and if you swipe fast, your character does an instant 360. This is very sporadic and inconsistent, and you're going to have a really hard time being accurate, especially when you're aiming down sights and you're trying to move left and right on a player that's moving horizontally. It's even more apparent at closer ranges when you're using SMGs and shotguns. People are running all around you, and it's very difficult to even have your shots land on the enemy player. So please, check the fixed speed option, and no matter how fast or slow you swipe your screen, your character will turn at the same speed, like so many other games you have played in the past. The very last tip the game doesn't tell you, how the spawns work in this game. With nearly all game modes, the game will respawn you in an area where it's as safe as possible, where there's generally a decent amount of teammates nearby. This is the same with your enemies as well. You need to look at your minimap, and always try to go to areas where none of your teammates are if you're looking for kills. Now, this might not be the most tactical way to play this game, because in truth, once you get there, you could very well be going up 1 versus 4 and potentially die. But if you're looking for a lot of kills, take that chance. There's no better way than just distancing yourself from your teammates. That's how you're most likely going to get your nukes. Simple as that. And with that, that wraps things up for today's video. Yeah, I might have told you guys a little bit more than 10 tips and tricks, but I hope you guys didn't mind. I'm sure you didn't. I hope you learned just a few new things or new ways to play this game from this video. And if you did, I'd say it was a successful video. Whether you decide to use some of these tips is entirely up to you. I just hope I can help in making you better at this game. For now, though, that's the end. I appreciate it a ton that you stuck around until the end of this video, and if you did enjoy the content I produced, I would greatly appreciate a like rating down below. Subscribe to the channel for more Call of Duty mobile content coming out very soon. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next episode.